Buyers want three things from a real estate broker and really for themselves. Hi, everyone. It's Nick McLean, and this is Real Estate Greatness coming to you live from our Zoom headquarters here. And buyers want three things. They want selection. They want the most amount of selection. They want access to homes. And I can tell you right now, real estate agents are doing it all wrong. They're giving the wrong message to buyers. In fact, they're telling buyers that the inventory is low. And although that may be true, it's misleading and it's discouraging to buyers. If you really want to attract a buyer, you're going to tell them about all of the opportunities and how you have access to selection. So they want selection. I mean, if you look at it, homes are still selling. There's just not as much active listings. So a buyer needs to understand that access to selection is timely access. So getting access to homes maybe a day or a week or 2 weeks late is too late. So number one, access. Number two, they want a great deal. They want to find a fantastic deal. And the problem is agents are giving out the message that, inventory is low, it's a seller's market, and it's a multiple offer situation. Although that may be true in some cases, you are discouraging people from becoming home buyers because you're telling them you have to compete, you have to overpay. Nobody wants to do that. Now, a great deal isn't necessarily paying what it's listed at. A great deal may be paying $200,000, $300,000 above list price. I'll tell you a story, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. I had a home on the market for 1.2 million, sold it for 1.6. Everyone thought that buyer was crazy. That home's worth $2 million today. So did they overpay? No, they didn't overpay. So great deals, access to great deals has nothing to do with the list price. So buyers telling everyone that, it's multiple offers, you got to go above list. You need to change your story to change your results. And you need to change the story in the consumer's head to change their results too, to get them to take action. So they want selection, they want a great deal. And the third thing they want is they want access. And they want access. This is really what they want from you. They want you to get them inside the house. But a recent study shows that buyers actually want video tours. During COVID, they surveyed people and they said 60% of people said they would prefer a video tour, a Facebook Live tour, or a Zoom tour to an actual showing. A lot of that had to do with health, but do you think that's changed? No, heck no. Majority of buyers in our area, whether you're Moses Lake, you're Moses Lake, Wenatchee Valley, Leavenworth Valley, Chelan, doesn't matter. Anywhere in Eastern Washington, North Central Washington that we serve, even down to Walla Walla, a lot of buyers, there's more buyers from out of town than in town. The buyers from out of town, they would love a video tour. They would love it. So, when you're asking them if they want to go look at the home, they might say no. But if you said, hey, do you want me to schedule a time we can do a video tour? They might say yes. We recently sold a home to a couple from Denver, Colorado, and they were going to rent a home. They actually called because we have a property management company and they wanted to rent a home. And through the conversation, we said, instead of renting, consider buying. I know you're on a time crunch, but let's just do some video tours. We did one video tour, sold them a house, $615,000, everybody. So offer a video tour. I think we even did the video tour during the home inspection. Now, it wasn't the entire home inspection, but it was the beginning, middle, and end of a home inspection. So they want access. They want access by video and they want access in person. But video, in fact, is the future. If you guys don't have a Zoom room set up, you don't have a good webcam, a microphone, lighting, you guys are going to be left in the dust because people are going to be meeting with agents online first, just like they're going to meet with their medical professionals first. And everyone first is going to be on video, especially if they're from out of town. Look, everybody, I'll show you. This is my office. I got this light. See this giant light? Right? You need lighting, you need a good webcam, you need a microphone. A little microphone here. You got to be able to work remotely and be able to sell through Zoom. And selling real estate isn't selling. You can never tell someone to buy a home or you can never tell someone to sell a home. You can only encourage them or lead them to make a decision. I like to say we're a conduit for information and we're a catalyst for decision making. That's all we are. So I want you guys to think about that. Now, when it comes to access, buyers and sellers are all alike. They want access to information. They want access to information, data. We still, as real estate professionals, we still have access to data. And if the buyer or consumer or seller has access to the same data, they really don't know how to digest it, interpret it, right? They don't need to know how to curate it. And so I want to challenge you guys with something. And this is to be the market expert. And to be the market expert, you need to know, understand where to find things. As an airline pilot, if we were to stack the manuals of the Boeing 747 in this room, it would be this high. Manuals of paper, reams and reams of paper. And they would teach us, we don't want you to know everything in the manual. That's too much for your brain. We just want you to know where to find it. So I want you guys to be resourceful. So your success isn't predicated on the resources you have, but your resourcefulness that you have. So when a buyer or seller asks you a question, you need to know how to find it, right? You need to know how to find it and find it quickly, because if you wait too long, they're going to look for someone else. And so we have access to the MLS, right? Most of you have access to the Northwest MLS. There's a system in there called Realist. Realist, Realist. You guys keep asking the listing agent for information and you have to wait a day. You raise your hand, has that ever happened? Your buyer has a question about a listing, so you call the listing agent, they don't answer the phone, you email them, they don't email you back. A day goes by, 2 days go by before you get an answer, right? I'm sorry, but you can blame the listing agent, right? But 100% zero, which is 100% accountability, zero excuses, extreme ownership. I have to look at myself as a real estate professional and go, yeah, I could blame the listing agent, but could I figure it out on my own? Could I go out there and find that information? Or who else knows that information that I can reach out to? My broker, another agent in my office, the county. So I want you guys to get really familiar with not just the MLS, but Realist. Now within Realist, there's massive amounts of data under Core Logic. And if you don't know what Core Logic is, I mean, listen, this is the #1 data aggregator of all real estate transactions in the United States, probably in North America, but definitely in the United States. They have massive amounts of information and you have it at your fingertips. And for like $30 a month, you have so much wealth of information that the consumer can't get easily. You can get it like that, including GIS maps, overlays, assessor records, assessor data, mortgage history, recorded documents, boom, just like that on Realist. In fact, it's so amazing. I'm going to share my screen right now. The other sources you need to know, you need to be able to whip out your assessor records, so whatever county that home's in, jump on the assessor, get on the parcel search, go on the GIS interactive maps to find the zoning. You shouldn't have to ask a listing agent what the zoning is. You need to be able to find the zoning like that and look up the zoning. If you can't, go down to the county, go to the city, talk to a planner. But in Realist, in Matrix right here, I'll just pick a property. Let's go right here. This is probably in Walla Walla, but nevertheless, I want to show you guys, and you may have clicked on this before, but I want to show you how amazing it is. This is, see that Core Logic right here? That's a massive company. That's like a billion dollar company, right? And they're going to aggregate all this information to you. I like to double check the beds, bath, square footage, because a lot of time the agent's wrong. A lot of times the agents are wrong. Nothing wrong with agents. I'm an agent, but sometimes we're wrong. We're not perfect. We're just humans. The owner's name. It's funny. A lot of people do these seven Fs, like this, where they don't or whatever it is, where they don't disclose the seller's name, Form 7s. It's so funny because you can just click on the Realist and find out, boom, right there, what their names are. What you want to pay attention to is if their billing address is different than that physical address, chances are they're more motivated. It could be a second home, it could be a vacation home, it could be a rental property, right? Or it could be a pure investment. So you can tell how motivated people are based on where they live. Now, you go down, it has the tax ID number, it has the legal description, it's lot 2. But what's cool about this is it has the assessor values, the changes. I'm going to show you some cool stuff down here, so bear with me. Now, check this out. So it has an AVM in here. This is an estimated value, real AVM, and it says it's worth 313 Okay, so 253 to 372. Now, here's the cool thing about this. This home is listed at, I went away from it, but I want to show you guys something really cool about this. This house right now is listed at 399. So lenders, some lenders right now, mortgage brokers right now, they can waive the appraisal or the interior inspection of appraisal if the sales price is within the AVM value, right? So they're listed above the AVM, so that's probably not the case. But if it is within the AVM, which is it stands for automotive value measurements, I think it is. It's a computer valuation. Some mortgage brokers are being able to approve loans if it's within this range. So we're outside the range, but if we were inside the range, that would be amazing. That's really good for closing faster and on time. So when you write an offer on a home, right, you want to do 30 days, 45 days, but you don't want to have an extension. Well, if I'm within the AVM, it gives me some confidence. Now, towards the end is the last market and sales history. I love this stuff because it tells me when they bought it and how much they paid for it. So they paid $55,000. It was probably just a lot, right? So they bought it from Dundon Cove, and they bought in 2007 or 2008 for 55,000. I'm wondering if they built the house. They probably did. That's a massive amounts of, there's massive amounts of information right there. And I'm just getting going, right? The other thing you can do is you can jump over to the map, right? And now I have a visual. I don't know about you, but I'm a visual learner, right? So I'm going to jump over to the map. I'm going to go hybrid. I do this on every listing I go on, and I go on and I do this on every property showing I go on, because here it is, right? And so if I click on this little button here, and I'm gonna get rid of this for you. I'm gonna click on these tabs. Now I'm gonna go assessor values last 12 months, and then MLS. These are pins. I'm gonna MLS last 12 months. Close that up. I'm a visual learner. So here's the subject property, and look at these red ones are recent sales in the last 12 months. Location, location, location. So if I'm going to show this property to somebody, I'm going to know this one sold for 360. I'm going to know this one sold for 445. I'm going to know this one sold for 368. I'm going to know this one sold for 380, right? So when my buyer asks me, what do I think about the price? I don't tell them, I don't know, or let me guess. I say, well, here's what I do know. I know a home sold for 360 on 204 Bush. I know a home sold for 445 at 1859 Madera. I know that a home at 1854 Madera Street sold for 368 all in the last year, right? And they're asking 399. Now I know why, right? Because I looked at the neighborhood comps in the CoreLogics that's right there. And so I called it, they're hiring us because we have access to this map, this visual of comparable sales. So when we're showing the properties, we can take them on a journey on what's going on around the properties. And we do this before we go there. Now, if I have a listing appointment, I'm going to the house. Before I go to the house, I'm doing the same visual, right? So when I go there, I really know what's going on in the neighborhood, because you don't want the homeowner to know more about what's going on in their neighborhood than you, because then you look like a fool. You don't look like an expert. So jump into this. Selection, access, a great deal. You need to give them access and be able to give them that access quickly. And the only way you can do that is by preparing yourself prior to going on an appointment, prior to going on the showing, and prior to going on the listing. Now, if you're on the phone, you may not know that, but you know how to get it. And so that's my lesson for you guys today. Jump into the Northwest CoreLogic system. You really get to know that. Use it a lot. Use it better than everyone else, and you're going to outcompete everyone else. The other thing is get to know your assessor records, your assessor page, your auditor page, and your public record searches. Don't rely on title and escrow to get you information. They take too long. Time kills deals, everybody, right? You're waiting on a listing agent. Get it yourself. Figure it out. Right? Teach a man to fish or give a man a fish. Which one do you want to be? I always thought I needed to know. I wanted to know. Thirst for knowledge. If you guys have any questions about real estate, need any advice, you can reach out to me. Licensed broker, designated broker in Washington State. So anyone in Washington State, you need a second opinion, just run it by me. I'm here for you.